Alrighty. We are back. Back again with some more of my hardcore Nuzlocke attempt of Pokemon Run&Bun. Continuing where I left off from yesterday, where I only had enough time to do one of the fights, which we're able to complete, which means we're 3 fights done with the Team Aqua Hideout section, but these fights have not been going in my favor. There's been a lot of complications and issues that have been coming up so far, which is not a good feeling considering that this has been some of the toughest fights for me to have planned for up to this point. And none of them have been riskless. Well, one of them I thought was going to be riskless, but it ended up not. Due to a calculation error. Which wasn't my fault, it was something off with the calc. Like, I was dealing way less damage than I thought I was going to. So, yeah, I really need, like, a clean fight just to boost my confidence again, because I'm definitely feeling it a little bit, but... yeah, this next fight is also not riskless. I am risking, like, up to a 1% risks on certain turns within this fight. It is a hail fight, too, so that adds more complications to it, but I think I have a pretty straightforward line if I don't get really bad luck. And I really just want to finally, like, have a clean fight where everything that I planned for ended up exactly how I intended and no weird calculation errors. So that would be nice. But yeah, I have this next fight planned, so hopefully everything goes alright with it. Alright, so why don't we go ahead on over. What's up in the chat? Appreciate you guys popping in. Hope you guys are having a good day today. Alright, so let's go ahead on over here. So we're up here. We went this way. We fought this trainer and then this trainer. So the next trainer should be somewhere around here. Not really sure how the map for this place works. Fan officials, what's up? How's it going? Hope you're having a good day today. Yeah, this is a this is Pokemon, but it's a fan-made ROM hack of Emerald called Run&Bun, which is a very, very difficult version of a Pokemon game. As I'll demonstrate in this next fight that I'm about to do. Let me just double check all my items one more time, just to make sure in case I run into the trainer. Heartstone, Wide Lens, Life Orb. And then let me just double check one last thing here. Let's see. see. Let me just double check one more calc here. Let's see. Faster, faster. Black belt. Yeah, slower but out damages. E plus 6.25 plus 30. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so that part looks good. Yeah, I don't need to worry about re-damaging my Basio Legion here. Alright, so let's see if the trainers... Oh. I think this is the Master Ball, I believe. Let me just save just in case. Yep, cool. Alright, got our Master Ball. That'll be useful for later. Alright, so that means the trainer should be this way. What is this? Is this an item? I hope that's not an electrode. Let me just save just in case. Oh yeah, it is. Wait, get me out of here. Thank you. Those electrodes are scary because they can explode, which is not what you want to have happen. So where's the next trainer here? I think I gotta get past this. Okay. Let's go this way. This way. Oh, nope. Let's see. This way. Nope. Oh. Oh, that scared me. I thought that was another trainer. Yeah, I don't remember how to do these teleport pad puzzles. Let's see, but I know it's this one, and then, but then how do I get over there? Oh, there we go. So let me see, is it this way? Okay. Alright, so the next trainer should be over here. Let me save though again, just to be safe. Okay, yeah. This should be the next trainer. Triple check everything. So no item, citrus, black belt, hardstone, wide lens, life orb. Alright, this should be good, but it's still not riskless, so hopefully things will work out. But let's go in and do it. Alright, Team Aqua Grunt number 4. Alright, so this fight has permanent hail because of the Ninetales null warning ability. And it also has Aurora Veil that wants to set up. But to start off, we're just simply outspeed and one-shot this with overheat. Alright. So Ninetales goes down. And this should always bring in the Sand Slash next. Perfect. Alright, so this is a Lowland Sand Slash with Slush Rush. So it's got doubled speed in the hail, making it super fast and very strong. It also has a Scope Lens to increase its chance of getting critical hits. But right now, it can only see, and it also has Sword Stance too. But it can only go for a quick Earthquake because it sees a fast KO with it. So I am going to swap to my Golisopod, who is pre-damaged to proc Emergency Exit. And hopefully, ideally, we don't see a low roll on this incoming Earthquake here. So we're gonna do this. So there's an Earthquake. Alright, so if we're at 148 HP after the Citrus, we're fine. Okay, good. Yeah, there are some potential risks with the double low rolls there, but now we should be perfectly fine. So now we can go straight to my Vascular Legion here. So we'll take some Hail Chip, and Sand Slash is going to go for another Earthquake as we one-shot it with Superpower. And we'll always live this even if it crits. Alright. So our attack and defense will reduce. And this should always be baiting in the Ice Cube next. Perfect. Alright, so this Ice Cube is also scary because it does have Belly Drum with Ice Body, or Ice Face, basically giving it like a free focus sash with any physical hit. But even at -1 attack, my Vascular Legion superpower shows that if it goes for Belly Drum, it'll get KO'd. And the AI doesn't see that it'll survive with Ice Face, so Belly Drum should be completely disincentivized. So it has to go for an attack, which in this case would be Head Smash. So to deal with this thing, I'm gonna go to my Omastar, who I have equipped with a Heartstone. It's also holding a Scope Lens too, but Omastar has Shell Armor, so it can't get critical hit. Perfect, there's a Head Smash. Alright, so I need to let it hit me another time. So I'm gonna stall out with a I'm gonna hit it with a Surf. Because I triple checked 3 max roll Head Smashes plus Hail Chip has a 0% chance to 3-hit KO, and I want to take as much damage on my Omastar as possible without dying. So I'm going to go for a Tickle, because Head Smash here can miss, which would be bad. So I'm gonna Tickle, and then hopefully I get hit with another Head Smash here. Okay, so it did miss. Alright, so that's why I accounted for that. I need to be specifically below 121 HP. So I'm gonna go for another tickle here. And I can just keep repeating this until I'm low enough, and then Power Gem will one-shot, and it'll bypass the Ice Face because it's not a physical move, it's a special move, which ignores the Ice Face ability. So we'll go for another tickle here. Perfect, there's the head smash. Alright, and now we're low. Now we're at the HP range that we need. So now I can go ahead and just one-shot with Power Gem. Alright, perfect. And like I said, I wanted it to be low enough for the potential move that I'm going to be taking here. This is going to be baiting in Wall Rain. And this is the true demon of this team because it's got Ice Body, which gives it leftovers in the hail. And it's got a Bright Powder, making you 10% less accurate. And it's got Substitute. So it's basically a stall set, which typically you would try to outstall this thing, but I don't have the means to do that without it setting up Substitute. So that's why I needed Almost Star to be low enough to bait a guaranteed fast KO with either Blizzard or Scald. So from here, I'm going to swap back to my Golisopod to take the hit and get another emergency exit off here. Alright, perfect. Alright, so we'll always live this. And this will proc our emergency exit for the second time. And then now we're gonna go to Sneasler. And this is the big risk that I need to dodge here. So, like I said, this Wall Rain has a Bright Powder. My Sneasler can always one-shot KO this with close combat. And I'm holding a wide lens to increase my accuracy, but because it's a 10% decrease and then a 10% increase, that means I still have a 1% chance to miss. And I desperately need to not get that 1% chance here. 99% of the time, this close combat will hit in one shot, which we need to have happen. If it misses, I need to dodge a Blizzard crit or freeze. But I'm risking my best one here, so Amy Lee, I need you to clutch up here. 99%, let's go. Perfect. Woo! Alright. That's what we're talking about. Alright, so the Wall Rain's dealt with now. And then from here, it should be perfectly free. Because the last mon up here is a Clefable. Which also has a pretty scary set because it has Stored Power with Cosmic Power to raise its defenses and boost Stored Power's attack. And it has a weakness policy, so if you hit it with a super effective move, it'll double both of its attack stats, making Stored Power do crazy damage. Right now, it could either go for Moonblast or a Cosmic Power. Either of which is actually perfectly fine here, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to swap directly to my Copperaja here, who should be holding a Life Orb. Perfect. So I'm going to swap here. Alright, good. So there's a Moonblast. So it didn't set up its defenses. If Clefable had used Cosmic Powder to raise its defense, holding a Life Orb, even after my +1 defense, a Life Orb boosted Heavy Slam would still have always one-shot. And even though it outspeeds, the AI can't go for a setup move in this case because it sees that it gets one shot. So the only thing it can do now from here is just attack. So it's basically checkmate. I can just go for heavy slam, which will always one shot here. Alright. Really good. Alright, finally a fight that went according to plan. It's in this hideout. Man, these fights are so scary. Alright, well, we can go ahead and head back out here. I can't fly. Alright, so let me just go back and heal up and save, and then I did take a quick look at the next fight, and the next fight should be a bit easier than the others. So this next one should be alright. The one after, though, is a rain fight, which is also pretty scary, so but yeah, let me pull up this next fight here. Yeah, this one's only 4 team members. Alright, so let me save. I'm gonna prep this fight, but I need to go use a restroom real quick. I'll be right back. Alright, let's take a look at this next fight here. Alright, so for this fight, there's a Gyarados lead with Bright Powder and Dragon Dance, which I can easily deal with Voltorb with just 2 Shockwaves, which I have unlimited TMs of in the Lilycode department. So I could teach that over Magical Leap because you also get Magical Leap TMs there too. So Shockwave, always 2 shots. The thing I need to make sure though is that I always bait. I don't want to bait Cursola first, because if I do, it's very likely to set up Trick Room, which would not be good. And the problem is that Gyarados has a 50-50 for going for either Stone Edge or Earthquake, so You could get a Stone Edge miss. Which I guess if that does happen, I could stall out a turn with like Energy Ball. So that shouldn't be a problem. I can just, if it does go for Stone Edge and miss, I can just go for Energy Ball, which should allow some buffer. And then I want to have taken enough damage to bait the Go-Goat. So let me see. Since I outspeed everything, in order for that to happen, I would have to be at most 101 HP to show a killing roll with Earthquake. So 101 plus lowest roll is 90 here. So 191. So it does a very slight free damage to guarantee that. And then I always live a crit. So that part's perfectly fine. This would always bait Go-Goat. Most of the time, only Earthquake. But from here, I can just go straight to I can just go straight to Gliscor. And then go for a Acrobatics. If it doesn't KO, then I can just use U-turn on the next turn. If I do KO, this would always bait Raichu, since I show fast KO on Cursola. And it can only go for Psychic, since I show that I can KO it. Which means I can just use that to get an emergency exit into Sneasler. It has a focus fan, but the knockoff will bypass that. And then I can then chain the Cursola with another knockoff. So yeah, this looks pretty straightforward. And then I'll just have to pre-damage Golisopod to emergency exit after a Psychic. And then I guess if anything goes wrong, I could just bring a Copperajah or something as a buffer, but it shouldn't be necessary. Yeah, no, this all looks pretty good to me. So yeah, let's go ahead and set this up here. So we just need Electrode. We need Gliscor. I keep Golisopod. And then we keep Sneasler. And then I need to go teach Shockwave. So let's see here. it should be over here. Yeah, so infinite grass, magical leaves, infinite shockwaves. So I can use them interchangeably on my electrode. So let's go ahead and teach that here. Oh. Electrode can't learn shockwave? What the heck? What? How does Electrode not learn shockwave? That's so weird. Oh well, that changes some things quite a bit. Yeah. That's so weird. Why can't Electrode learn shockwave? Can't a regular Electrode learn shockwave? I mean, it can learn discharge and thunderbolt, so okay, that completely changes my game plan then. That's yeah. So I have to use someone completely different now. Alright, I need to go back to the calcs again. Damn, I thought this would have been easy, but well, who can I use then? Yeah, because I need to counteract the bright powder somehow. I could try using knockoff, but the problem is that if I don't show a slow KO, then Gyarados can use it can use Dragon Dance, which would be very bad. So have anyone that can take a hit and hold zoom lens without it using Dragon Dance. any other good shockwave users. Because Earthquake just deals way too much damage. I mean, I could try going Wide Lens Obstagoon to knock off the Bright Powder. Because if I'm pre-statused, then I'll show that I outspeed in 2-shot, which means you can't go for a Dragon Dance. You can only attack. And then if I do that, then I could swap straight to Electrode and KO with a Volt Switch. And then I can bait Earthquake from there with Copper-Raja. Yeah, I think that's gonna have to be the play here. And if I do get a 1% chance to miss, Obstagoon's tanky enough to take at least one, maybe 2 waterfalls. So this should work out fine. Yes, I think that's what I'm gonna have to do here. Man, I'm shocked that, no pun intended, that Electrode can't learn Shockwave. That's kind of crazy, but what can you do? Alright, so we're gonna need to bring in Linkin Park here. And we'll have him pre-burned. Well, actually, I could do pre-toxic instead, since I'm going to be leading him. And then give him the wide lens. Yeah. This should work out fine, because at worst, I would have to risk 2 1% chances in a row, which is very, very low odds. So I think that's fine enough to deal with. So yeah, let's set that up here. We'll get the wide lens on Obstagoon. Put the magnet on Electrode. And then I don't think I need any other items here. And then I just have to remember to pre-toxic Obstagoon before the fight starts. So then for pre-damage, after the Volt Switch, I want Copper-Raja to be at 2... Actually, I want Copper-Raja at 232 HP to bait the Go-Goats. So let me do that here. 232. Yep. Three damage. 232. Alright, good. That'll always bait Earthquake from Go-Goat. Swap the Gliscor. KO with Acrobatics, or if I don't, then KO with U-Turn. And then I could swap directly to Sneasler if I do that. If not, I would bait a Psychic from Raichu, which means I need to pre-damage my Golisopod to be at... Let's see. To be at 185 HP. Alright, so let me go ahead and do that here. Damage. Alright, so this should be all that we need here. Alright. Risking just a bit of fiction at the start, but once we get past that, then the rest should be perfectly free. Just make sure I'm not forgetting any weird items here, or yeah, there's no sturdies, no focus ashes, just the focus band, but knockoff deals with that. So yeah, this should be good. And then, like I said, I need a pre-toxic Obstagoon before the fight starts, so if I accidentally run into the next trainer unintentionally beforehand, then I'll claws and reset, because yeah, it's I don't know what the pathing looks like for this place, but I know we go here, then we go here, then we go here. So we went this way, we fought this guy. So the next trainer should be just around here. Oh yeah, there she is. Alright, perfect. So let me pre-toxic Obstagoon now. Alright, perfect. Triple check my items. Alright. And then just triple check. Yeah, this should all be good. Alright, so let me save here. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. Team Aqua Grunts number 5, I believe. Alright, so she leads a Gyarados with Intimidate, and is also holding a Bright Powder. And it has Dragon Dance. However, even with the Intimidate drop, my Obstagoon shows that it always outspeeds in 2-shots with Facade, so he can't set up with Dragon Dance. He can only attack. But because of the Bright Powder, I do have, even with a Wide Lens, I do have a 1% chance to miss. But my goal here is to simply knock off this Gyarados' Bright Powder, so then I can freely KO it with something else. If we get 2 1% chance misses in a row, we could be looking very, very bad here. But ideally, 99% of the time, this knockoff should always hit. So let's not see a 1% here. Perfect. Alright, so that removes the Bright Powder, meaning that now we always have our regular accuracy. So now from here, I can swap safely to Electrode on any of its attacks. Yep, so we eat the Waterfall, and then now we can outspeed in one shot with Volt Switch, KOing and allowing us to get a free switch. So Gyarados comes down. So now I'm going to bring in my Copperajah, who is pre-damaged to always bait in Go-Goat, going for Earthquake next. Alright, perfect. Alright, so Go-Goat sees guaranteed KO with Earthquake. So I can go directly to my Gliscor, who will be immune to the attack here. Alright. And now I can go for Acrobatics. It has a 50% chance to one-shot. If it does or doesn't, either which is perfectly fine. We have 2 different routes in case, so go for Acro here, see what happens. Yep, so we didn't get the KO here. This is actually the easier line, it's funnily enough. Because now I can KO, it's low enough to be KO'd with U-turn. So then I can just, again, KO and freely switch. And then I can just go now directly to Sneasler. Because now Sneasler outspeeds in one-shots the rest of the team. So Raichu here, we just outspeed in one shot with a knockoff. It held a focus band, so that's why knockoff was really useful, because knockoff ignores the focus band, as it has there. It doesn't ignore focus sash, but it does ignore focus band. And then this just leaves a Cursola, which wants to set up Trick Room and has a Power Gem with Meteor Beam, but again, we just outspeed in one shot with knockoff. Alright, there we go. Nice little easy fight in the midst of the sea of super difficult fights that we've had so far. Alright, getting some good progress going. The next fight I know is going to be a pretty tough one too, so I don't know if we'll be able to get to this next one today, because I haven't really taken a look at it. I just know it's a rain team, so those can always be pretty tough because of Swift Swim Mons. So it's probably got stuff like Swift Swim Bright Powders or whatever, Swift Swim Focus Bands, because that's That's the theme for all these grunt battles. Is that they want to have the most douchey setups that they can possibly have. Alright, so yeah, but we could just take a little look at it. See if we can't plan something. So let's see. We got Politoed lead with a water gem. We can... Let's see, this thing deals quite a bit of damage. This is where... Man, if I still had Roserade, this would be so free. But unfortunately we don't, so... But let me see, where's my Sneasler at? How much damage can Life Orb? Alright, so I think, yeah, Life Orb, Fake Out into close combat can always KO this, this Politoed. Could I even do it with a Muscle Band? Let me see. Probably not. 72 plus 16.2, yeah, no. Yeah, it has to be Life Orb. Because then that would be 85.2 plus 18.9. So I can lead Sneasler for the Fake Out close combat. This would always bait a fast KO from Swift Swim, Liquidation, Poliwrath. This thing's kind of a monster. But I think actually Kingdra can deal with this guy. Because it is in the rain, so Hurricane does have guaranteed accuracy, and I have Swift Swim. Although it does have Drain Punch, but I can hold a Sharp Beak to counter against that. 2 Sharp Beak boosted Hurricanes would deal a minimum of 119, which would counter the Drain Punch HP that it would regain. I do have to worry about potential Liquidation defense drop though, so I should probably... I can get an emergency exit proc off of this though. I could also use Dragonite. Let's see, but if I use Kingdra, this would bait looks like Noivern for Dragon Pulse. And this thing also has freaking Bright Powder Double Team. And Hurricane. But I can go... I could probably just teach Smart Strike. To someone here. Yeah, I can go like Magnezone. Because Magnezone won't bait Hurricanes, it'll just be Dragon Pulses. Can Magnezone learn Smart Strike though? That's the question. Let me see. Nope, doesn't look like. It should be able to learn Shockwave though. So I could do... Let's see. Shockwave, Magnezone. That would be a almost 3-hit KO. But the problem is that this thing also has Roost, so... I could try stalling it with Corviknight, but then the problem is that Hurricane can confuse. So that's not super viable. Let's see, could I... Let's see, if I taught Sneasler... Oh wait, no, I can't do Natural Gift because I have to hold a Life Orb to KO the Palpitoad. Does Sneasler learn Ice Punch though? Let me see. Sneasel does, but Sneasler doesn't. Although, you know who could learn it is Seismitoad. And Seismitoad does have Swift Swim, so... Oh, but then... It still has a Bright Powder. Let's see, Primarina can one-shot this thing with Moonblast. So I could swap it in for free on a Dragon Pulse. But then I would have to hold a zoom lens to counter the Bright Powder. If it goes for double team, it would make me not guarantee accurate, and if it goes for Hurricane, I can confuse. So that's also kind of volatile. Let me see, what was the... Let me see what the AI is for double team again. Oh, there is no AI for double team. Well, that's unfortunate. I'm not sure. I think it probably has a default of 6. So not too sure how to best deal with this thing. Because I could... Defog does lower its evasiveness, but then double team would raise it again. I could teach Soga to Maru Smart Strike. But then again, it can just roost up on me. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take some more. I'm gonna have to look at this one a little bit more. So, yeah, we did get 2 fights done, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and pause there for now, and then come back to it another time. So, yeah, I need to look up what other people have done. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end there. But I appreciate everyone who stopped by and watched. I hope everyone has a great rest of the day, and I'll see everyone in my next stream.